Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our global TV deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
God of my salvation, because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone, and it break a bad feeling to all wicked men. Not a people there. Make a man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear now hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside a rob and cheat, and not press the poor. Make up what I seen to. Make him a throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan! Make him a throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. My favorite man, if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the day them can sell out Rasta and sell it out and sell out Babylon. They give man throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. They give man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the dead can sell out Rasta and sell out and sell out Babylon. Just stop on the Friday. You might throw a stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan! You might throw a stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What a prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one. Big man throw one stone, and
see me dim day. We in Global TV says certain kind of friend we no cape. And some informer friend we love lake. We in Global, bona fake friend and bona tape. We in Global, we not promote them, we not support them. Look at them on the cheek, come here represent for. We in Global TV, check it.
I wanna say, open with a quote. The heights by great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but in day while their companions were sleeping, tiled upward in the night. Good morning and welcome to Global TV. They call it Holy Thursday, isn't it? Don't know what really holy about it. But a Holy Thursday to you all. Good morning and welcome to Global TV. I'm sorry I did not come out here last night because I was making my way through the Cybercrime Act to get my head around it, to have an understanding of it, because the area that confused me is the blur between criminal and defamation. Criminal law, civil law. For me, the line is blurred there, and it's keeping an eye on the development of 119's arrest and his challenge to the unconstitutionality of the act, as he claimed, or the breach of his fundamental rights. But we will look at that Section 9 area this morning that create the offense of malicious communication, as well as Section 2, I believe, which is the interpretation statute, which for me, that's where the blurriness really start. That is the problem I'm having, beat and teach, but I will get to that, because both the Section 9 and I think Section 2, which is the interpretation statute, is really blur, and police are going to have problem with it, and people with power-hungry people will play with it, and that's why contesting it in the Constitutional Court matters. If it's a law that is constitutional, maybe they can lay down clear guidelines of what malicious communication means or would be, as opposed to defamation, where the water sort of get muddled in that area. To my community of party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers, subscribers, commenters, and trolls, good morning. Welcome. Thank you all for joining us. It's the day before Good Friday, where you will be eating bun and cheese and fish and bami and ham and corn and the likes of it, and you know what and you know what not. But be careful of the cheese you purchase, because you know we
Plastic cheese.
Where's the plastic cheese? Where's the money?
just looking at the cheese she's breaking up, you can tell that it's the tin. Looking at it, because we know cheese a long time, we know with Jamaica cheese. That looked to me like one of them tasty cheese in the tin, but don't know where it come from, end up a foreign or whatever. So we have to be careful when purchasing certain item to make sure we're getting the right thing. And I think the cheese that you're buying, and value for money.
Waste of money.
Plastic cheese.
We have to be careful.
A waste of plastic cheese.
Plastic rice,
Waste of money.
egg, you name it. So I would advise that we be very vigilant. Morning, everybody. Morning. Sorry, me never do no 1-1 Odie this morning, but Odie, everybody on YouTube and TikTok. Thank you all for joining us. Much appreciated. Your support is very much appreciated. Let me oh, Dr. Tufton, Lord Jesus. So you can't have kill we have, Dr. Tufton. Dr. Tufton a bit ton with ton. We see a kill we have. For those of you on TikTok, I've already uploaded this video to TikTok.
Carnival Regional Hospital, this is brother. A 1 week left straight now, brother. Them a people playing around. Don't have to go bed, you know. Everybody have to sit down in a wheelchair. Move in a wheelchair. Sit down in a chair. Watch your brother. The health system gone to Jamaica. Not even a bed. The people then can't down the man. Tell me if you totally I start miss this man.
I saw me there, watch me now.
Tough time, you need to go on better.
Sorry.
Come on, you need to do better on this. Healthcare system need to fix, man. In a Carnival Regional Hospital, man. The people are not even a bed for the long pan. 1 week I had. Watch out. Watch yourself, man. Cheer, you don't know better. Cheer. No, tell no lie.
Dr. Tufton, good morning. I wasn't aware, Dr. Tufton, that we are at war in Jamaica. Our country, Dr. Tufton, has been invaded. You may ask, what on earth is he talking about? Because what we're seeing here, Dr. Tufton, is a makeshift hospital in a refugee camp, Dr. Tufton, on the outskirts of an invaded country. Go back, Dr. Tufton. You can look at all the videos in all the major news and look at your emergency department at Cornwall Regional Hospital. And tell me, Dr. Tufton, if there is a different to what we see at Cornwall Regional Hospital and a makeshift hospital, Dr. Tufton, in a refugee camp on the outskirts of a war zone, Dr. Tufton. The man you never sees to kill we have. Andrew Holness, Dr. Tufton, and Dr. Chang, the three doctor them. Doctor this, doctor that, and doctor the other. Them swear blind. Them have to achieve Bill Gates numbers. Them swear blind. Dr. Tufton, Dr. Holness, and Dr. Chang. Uno swear blind. Uno have to achieve Bill Gates numbers. Can't kill no kill we have. This makeshift tent on the outskirts of a war zone, Dr. Tufton, that you claim to call, or what's you call it, Cornwall Regional Hospital, under refurbishment, Dr. Tufton, for 8 years to the tune of $27 billion. No completion date in sight, Dr. Tufton. No operational date incite Dr. Tufton, political operative and vlogger of the Jamaica Labour Party, is making themselves wealthy out of the destruction of Cornwall Regional Hospital, Dr. Tufton. No look upon this here video, Dr. Tufton. Go to Cornwall Regional yourself and you take money, pay out of a pocket, pay first class ticket, figure hither or thither. You just that Philippine Dr. Tufton, I look for nurse. Did you tell the nurse them say a refugee camp them a come work in a doctor? Philippine nurse, Indian nurse. We not gonna left in a country, come a war zone, come work. A war zone and I come work in, you know. Did Dr. Tufton tell the Filipino, Indian, and Nigerian nurses that he will be coming to a makeshift camp in a war zone? You're coming to a makeshift hospital in a refugee camp, because that is what you are running at Cornwall Regional Hospital, Dr. Tufton, a refugee camp. 7 years, 8 years of gas guzzling from the public purse. $900 and odd billion unaccounted for, missing, stolen. Dr. Tufton, thief it, puss. And look at the state of the makeshift camp at Montego Bay, the Montego Bay Refugee Center. No one hear nobody come here and call it Cornwall Regional Hospital. The Montego Bay Refugee Center, Dr. Tufton. Did you tell the nurses where you go foreign, go employ, say a refugee camp, them a come work, you know? Them not stop until them achieve Bill Gates numbers, you know? Because them certainly kill way of their reason. Them certainly a kill way off their reason. These situations are untenable and deplorable.
Not sure no man. Not sure you up tough then. Okay. Cornwall Regional Hospital, this my brother. A 1 week left straight now, brother. Them a people playing around. Still not to one bed, you know. Everybody have to sit down in a wheelchair. Move in a wheelchair. Sit down in a chair. What's your brother? The health system gone to Jamaica. Not even a bed. The people then can't down the man. Tell me if you totally I start miss this man.
I saw me there, you know. Watch me now. Go on.
Tough time, you need to go on better.
Sorry.
No man, you need to do better on this. Healthcare system need to fix, man.
Go on.
In a Cornwall Regional Hospital, man. The people are not even a bed for you down for 1 week and had. Watch out. Watch yourself, man. Cheer, you don't know better. Cheer. See there? Not tell no lie.
Jamaica, it's terrible. But when you talk, Andrew Holness say, a bad man with bad man. Andrew Holness and him warring minions them say, a bad man with bad man when we talk about the deterioration of our health care and other services and infrastructure. But my God, Prime Minister, with health care. Since Ibrahim Traore take over Burkina Faso, in build state-of-the-art hospitals, Prime Minister. You've been refurbishing a hospital, Prime Minister, for 8 years. Billions, Prime Minister. 900 and odd of it. Cornwall Regional was budgeted for $2 billion. It's now at about 27 billion and counting. And at the PNP administration, I have going to have to uh, deal with the completion of Cornwall Regional Hospital. If this government have any care for the people who elect them to lead, one hospital wouldn't be in such a condition perpetually. And if it is, as we've seen it, how it is that we should be confident that anything meaningful I go do when it come to with health care, with theater them when I work, the oxygen them what we not have, the this what we not have. PNP we not have a hard task ahead for build back this country for poor people. No. Yes, Andrew, me know your bill, but for your billing for rich people, we are talking about we, Andrew. Me not say you're not billing on Andrew, but your bill for poor, for rich people. And then McNabb. Your bill for rich people, Andrew Holness. Me I talk about we the poor people. PNP about job pan them on when them come in for refix this country. So open the PNP, them a come. Then a come with the bag of duns them.
I want to
We
say,
can't do nothing.
open with a quote. The heights by great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but by day, while their companions were sleeping, toiled upwards in the night. And that is exactly
We're not attained. At the part that me love when me can't get past that part there. We're not attained. Anyway, let's move over to the Cyber Crime Act. The Cyber Crime Act existed from 2010. That would have been a Bruce Golden enactment, isn't it? The scope then on the review in 2015 becomes even broader under the final days of the Portia Simpson Miller administration. There was to be a review in 2018 to see how it's all progressing and all that jazz. I'm not sure if that was done. I haven't seen much as to it could have been. I may not just have found it yet because I was paying attention to the understanding the act. So the People's National Party does have this on their hand to deal with when them come back in a power. Because the truth be told, the confusion that we are left with at the moment with this thing was done by the People's National Party. They implemented the latest stage of the act where they added more offenses into such as the malicious communication, I believe. But whether the Labour, the PNP, whether the Bruce Golden or Portia Simpson, who dealt with this act, I have some issues with it. So in the first bit here is the the outline, the content of the act. The interpretation statute is section 2 of the act. And when you're reading an act, you must first understand the interpretation statute before you have a good understanding of the sections that will later confuse you in the act. I hate this PDF because it's not allowing me to work the way I want to. Anyway, as you can see, for those of you on the screen on YouTube, you see where it says 9. That means section 9, use of computer for malicious communication. Then in the interpretation statute, I'm not going to read all of it for you, but just to explain, hold on, let me get this thing. I hate this PDF. It's not giving me. Okay, this might work. Let me see if I find another format that would work better for me, so I can highlight certain areas I want to bring up. If I get the web version, no, this is the same malarkey. No, let me go to Parliament. Let me see if this is a better PDF where I can highlight things. Just bear with me, please. Okay, yeah, I'll work with this one because I'm able to highlight in this one, even though this one is written quite this is a little bit different structure because this was the bill that then becomes the act. The bill that was debated in Parliament that later becomes the act. So, section 2 is what you call section 1 is the short title of the act, cited as the Cybercrime Act 2015. And then section 2 is the interpretation statute, where it gives meaning to various things. For example, computer, for the purpose of this act, means, hold on, let me go to the one that I can highlight. Let me put it full screen for you. Bear with me, please. I'm a horrible teacher when it comes to this. So section 2, where you see it says computer. So this is section 2, subsection 1. Computer means any device or group of connected device or related devices, one or more of which, pursuant to a program performs automatic processing of data. So for the purpose of the act, computer would mean all forms of electronic device, tablet, phone, iPad, the literal computer. You can even work PlayStation and them something that into this, because these things are a modern day form of device you use to communicate with. Then I'll take it down to where it says damages. So that's subsection, section 2, subsection 1, subparagraph B. Am I right here? Subparagraph B. So under subparagraph B, where it refers to damages, you would find this come up a lot in civil law, as well as damages feature in criminal law as well, but it's more a civil law thing, where it refers to cause of economic loss here. These are things that you would more find, even though I said it exists in criminal law, you would more find to do with defamation and all of that. If I take you down to where, hold on, it says output, that is in subsection 2, subparagraph, where is output? Subparagraph B, where it says output. Let me find it back for you. Output. This is where the defamation line for me become blur. Output. So now it's talking about how you put the data out in the public. Output in relation to computer, and remember they gave you the definition of what is computer is lots of things in the technological world you can describe as computer. In relation to a computer, data or program means a statement or representation, whether in writing, printed, pictorial, graphical, auditory, or other forms preceded by a computer or accurately translated from a statement or representation so produced. That is where the line is blurred for me. Maybe different people, as a law, everybody have their own understanding of it, but this is where it becomes blur between defamation and crime, as it is being used in the malicious communication. Because originally, or under the civil code, when such statement is being such data is being put out in public by a means of whatever electronic device, and the people feelings become hurt, they suffer economic loss or whatever, that normally used to get dealt with under defamation law. But with this interpretation, with police not having a clear understanding or clear guideline, for me it is blur. Why is it? Because being charged under section 9, section 9 sets out the offenses under malicious communication, use of computer for malicious communication. Bear with me 1 second, my peeps. Hello? Yeah, well, go on. I'll call you back when I'm done. I'm live now, yeah? Okay, cool. Sorry about that. Section 9 set out the offense for malicious communication using a computer. And that could be a computer, a phone, a tablet, whatever device you can use to communicate in the space that what would be defined as a computer under the act. So section 9, which create the offense of malicious communication, which he is charged under, a person commits an offense if that person, A, use a computer to send another person any data, whether in the form of a message or otherwise. That would mean a message, a post, the various pictures, innuendos, or all of them things. Whether in the form of message or otherwise, that is obscene. Obscenes are the ones would have a graphic sexual content, like the revenge porns and all of that, constitute a threat or is menacing in nature. Like the young lady in Spanish Town who was arrested after the killing of Tickman, that made that threat. It's quite likely that she would have or could have been charged under Section 9, subsection 1, subparagraph A. It could have been because her posts, one could argue, constitute a threat under the act. The menacing part, don't know if it amount to that, but under the act, that would constitute a threat. Subparagraph B, intent to cause or is reckless as to whether the sending of the data cause annoyance. These are some of the areas I'm having problem with it in subparagraph B. I could work with the bit intent to cause. That would be intent to cause an annoyance, inconvenience, distress, or anxiety to that person or any other person. This is also another blurred area for me as to how police can use them just by the way we speak or the way we say things, especially in the social space. So when you say Andrew, they are do them thing ya in a COVID, like go draw people from under them bed and them something there, because what they're saying in the act here, like you tell the Prime Minister, SYM Prime Minister, then the Prime Minister, if you intend to cause or if you recklessly cause by sending that information out in social media, SYM Prime Minister, if you cause annoyance to the Prime Minister, if you cause inconvenience or distress or anxiety to the Prime Minister or any other person, that could amount to an offense under Section 9. I hope under a review by the People's National Party, the public get to have a say, because I don't know how well Section 9 is balanced with fundamental rights, and that would be the fundamental rights for freedom of speech and expression. I think there's much to go over here. Then you move on to subsection 2 of Section 9. An offense is committed under subsection 1, which is all of what we just dealt with earlier. An offense is committed under subsection 1, regardless of whether the actual recipient of the data is or is not a person to whom the offender intend to send the data. What that means is if I say something about the prime minister that offends the prime minister, not only the prime minister can be offended by that, regardless of whether, all right, regardless if Babsy can be offended, regardless of whether I intend to upset Babsy when telling the prime minister SYM. That's neither here or there whether I can be charged under the act. Because if I've done what subsection 1 says, I would have committed an offense regardless if I was actually directing it to that particular recipient or so on. So these laws are always complicated, but these can be very blurred when used by police. A person commits subsection 3, subparagraph 3 rather. A person who commits an offense under subsection 1 shall be liable upon summary conviction before a magistrate court. And summary conviction is more referring to misdemeanor rather than indictment, which is the more felony type of incidents. Summary conviction before a magistrate in the case of the first offense, a fine not exceeding $4 million or imprisonment for a term not exceeding 4 years. So on your first offense, it's $4,000, $4 million, or 4 years, or both. If any damage is caused as a result of the commission of the offense, damages could be reputational damages, economic loss, and all that, not necessarily physical damage when you hear the word damages in law. A fine not exceeding $5 million or imprisonment for a term not exceeding 5 years, or both such fine and imprisonment. In the case of a second subsequent offense, if you commit the same offense a second time after you go to your first punishment, in the case of a second subsequent offense, regardless, and this is important for all of us who exist in the social space, it is important. A second subsequent offense, regardless of whether or not any damage is caused. So, no damage don't have to cause, you just need to commit the offense by putting out certain information there in public. A fine not exceeding $5 million or imprisonment for a term not exceeding 5 years or both fine and imprisonment. I'll go to subparagraph 3. In the case of a second or subsequent offense, this could be an offense after the second offense, regardless of whether or not any damage is caused, a fine or imprisonment for a term not exceeding 20 years or both fine and imprisonment. What I find about this act, so that is what the offense, the offenses and the penalty under section 9, because it's malicious communication. The issue, though, as according to the Gleaner article, 119 is saying when he pressed the arresting officer as to what part of his of both posts that constitute the offense of malicious communication, that information the police told him. That's why we have a judicial system. And when you get to court, you will know. Not quite so, because the disclosure rule, even if you're not provided to them, which if you're arresting a person, one, you have to tell them who is accusing them and why they are being arrested. Just to say you've been arrested and charged for malicious communication is not enough. I will not reject this argument, as we people living in West, oftentimes we speak too loosely. What do you mean speak too loosely? Explain more when you say speak too loosely, what you mean. The police must be able to tell you this particular words, because it can't be everything when it's said, constitute malicious communication. There have to be some particular wording or part of the information put out in public that constitute the breach. If the police cannot explain to you when arresting you, charging you, and booking you for court, then we have a problem. Because they're supposed to be able to tell you that you're charged under section 1, section 9, subsection 1. And they must be able to tell you from your post what bit that was said that was menacing, that constituted threat, that was reckless, that caused nuisance, that caused distress, inconvenience, anxiety, and all of that. Even online people just come on with some words and accusation without facts. It's not accusation without facts. You all don't understand speculation or asking questions. Or if I talk about when we say the Prime Minister thief, that is not an accusation, that's an actual fact. And we don't have to have the Prime Minister tried in a court to know that the Prime Minister is a thief. So if we not talk about politician, because politician we mainly deal with yes. So we not tell them be transparent, and then we don't have to speculate or ask questions. It is simple. If they be honest and if they are transparent, we really want to have to ask some of the questions we ask. Like the Prime Minister who is dilly-dallying around the whole place with us. So the police here tells me that they don't understand what they're enforcing. And this what makes the challenge to the law important, because I don't know if it's the first time the Cybercrime Act is being tested in the Constitutional Court, but for a lot of us who are in the social space, and let me say, this is not just a Jamaica thing. There are a lot of people who get arrested in this Britain for posts they make on Facebook. Just like when after the 9/11, they use terrorism legislation to curtail and shut us down. With the rise of social media and the lack of control they have over social media narrative, it's the same way. It's not just only in Jamaica. The Cybercrime Act is being used to silence people. It's also in the United Kingdom. One of the time it used to be, or not just used to be, they still, one of the time before they start enforcing a lot from the Cybercrime Act, it used to be the hate speech regulations that they use to shut you down, because people can get in their NIMBY eyes feeling they feel annoyed or distressed or have anxiety based on something that you have said or a view that you rightly hold. Why this Section 9 ought to strike a proportionate balance is the protection of our fundamental right, the right to freedom of expression and speech. As I explained last night, freedom of speech, the freedoms are divided into two categories. You have what is called qualifying rights, and you have what is called absolute rights. Your absolute rights are limited. I can't remember them off the top of my head, but there's not much. The prohibition of slavery, the prohibition of torture and degrading treatment, and maybe there's one or two other. But most of the rights under the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, because where you see a chart of a fundamental right in most or any constitution, their derivative is from the charter, the United Nations Charter of Fundamental Rights. That's where everybody make up their fundamental rights in their constitution from. These go all the way back to the Magna Carta of the 13th century. So your rights are split into two fractions. You have the absolute right, which under no circumstances government or anyone should violate, especially the state. And the state should also protect you from those rights being violated, because those rights are absolute. Now you have what is called qualifying right, like your freedom of expression, freedom of speech, freedom of religion. I think right to education is I think right to education is absolute, and like right to marriage is qualifying. But most of your rights are qualifying. Now, what that means is that your qualifying right, you have to live to a certain standard in order not to become a burden onto somebody else's right or violate somebody's right. So once you live within that societal code where you respect the rights of the land, the society, and persons, then you enjoy all those rights as well. But if you violate those rights, then your rights can be curtailed. Now, there's in the area of free speech, there are various different qualification or balance, proportionality balance. As a counter to free speech, you have what is called defamation law. You have defamation law, so somebody can sue you if you go there and put out false information about them. You have like hate speech and all of that which comes under the criminal code, where and that would be some of what we've gone through in section 9, where your utterances would cause inconvenience, distress, anxiety, and annoyance, and all of that. Those, a lot of those, especially in this country, you would find that covered under the hate speech. So you can also be curtailed for breach of the peace, trying to stop you do something before it happens. Say, for example, I'm going to demonstrate right outside the gate of Parliament. Then, before I commission that offense, the police can stop me in track, because the breach of peace, arresting you or so on, or curtailing your rights under the breach of peace, is to prevent you from carrying out an offense. Not that you have committed an offense, it's to prevent you. When you hear them talk about breach of peace, it's to prevent you from carrying out an offense. So you have, say for example, how them strike some of the balance. If we are going to demonstrate, we can't just, in some country, get up, go demonstrate certain place. So they require us to make an application. So it is widely known that there's going to be a demonstration. So preparation can be made for people to reroute themselves, redirect themselves, or not cause, or not just pluck up and do a demonstration that you prevent another person or another group of person from exercising their freedom of expression or freedom of movement and such like, and all of that. So it needs clear guidance, because in section 9, what you have, or could argue that there is a overlap or intertwining of the civil code and the criminal code operating together, which I find it confusing. So if police officer who not understand the law, them can just operate the section on the title malicious communication. because not being able to say to the accused that this particular paragraph constitute, or these particular wording constitute the offense of malicious communication, then there is a problem. Them can't tell you, say, wait till you go to court, because your lawyer need to prepare your defense, and they need to know what you've been charged with. So I'm hoping that this challenge gives clarity to this confusion. Coming out and lie, me confused. Hold on, how you move this, yeah. Oh, you come trouble this thing, I don't know if you move it. Go over to this one. I find this overlapping a bit confusing. So maybe, and the sentences are quite high. You know, the lesser sentence in this act, it's for public bodies. You, the common man, you get up to 20 years and pay fines of million, offense by public bodies or corporates. Section 14. Let me quickly whisk through section 14 for you. I'm gonna hear say them look after them big friend them. Them not set we up for the 20 year and the, like how them set we up for the 20 year and the 15 year. No, them go little easier pan them corporation people. Section 14. For the avoidance of doubt, where a body corporate, there are those corporates are so on, commits an offense under this act, the body corporate shall be liable to fine applicable in respect of the offense. Where the body corporate commits an offense under this act, the court is satisfied that a director, a manager, a secretary, or other similar officers of that body corporate convened in the commission of the offense, that director, manager, secretary, or other similar officer shall also be liable to a proceedings to be proceeded against for the offense and punish accordingly. So you also can pursue the corporation as well as individuals of the corporation. Failure to exercise due diligence to prevent the commission of the offense, that director, manager, or secretary or other similar officer shall be liable. So, say for example, Ministry of Health. Let's use Ministry of Health for example. If Dr. Tufton was honest with us when he said that he were only notified at a particular time about the bacteria that were killing babies, and if someone like Jacqueline DeSaso was aware of it and did not inform Dr. Tufton, the policy director, in time to take a policy decision, then Jacqueline DeSaso can also Jacqueline DeSaso can also be liable for the offense as well, just to use her as an example. On conviction before a resident magistrate, to a fine not exceeding $2 million, Remember, the first offense for the common man, is $5 million, not exceeding $5 million. So the maximum fine they can place on you for the first offense is $5 million. But for the corporation, the maximum for the first offense is $2 million or imprisonment for a term not exceeding 2 years, where the common man, his sentence could be up to 5 years, but for the corporation, there's only up to 2 years maximum. On conviction, on indictment, that when it goes from misdemeanor to felony. On conviction and indictment before a circuit court, a fine or imprisonment for a term not exceeding 6 years, or both fine and imprisonment. Now, for the common man, that before the on indictment, it's 15 years, 10 to 15 years. And what was it? $5 million? So the corporation, they've gone easy on in this act, but the common man can get up to 20 years, say your third offense or such along the way. You can get up to 20 years. But the corporation, their maximum is 6. So you see them always a lookout for them one another. I think I may have confused you all, but sorry about that. As this debacle goes on, we will keep an eye on it and see where and how it is going, and how the constitutional experts, because this is an era of constitution, so we'll keep an eye to see how this is all going. They have found the wrong way. May I tell you? Let me see. Hold on. Oh, this morning. Let's take off the situation. Norman Ferguson, he has a video out this morning. Who has a video out this morning, Chelsea? Who have a video out this morning? Why they don't curtail the thieves in Jamaica? Thief is not a problem, lover. We're out of the problem. This is what makes it dangerous, because, as we say, Jamaica leaders alone do it. Case Starmer do it, yes, so too. No make nobody fool, no. Case Starmer, I lock you up for things where you say on Facebook, because it's a concerted effort by world governments to commit crime against us and silence us in the meantime. You remember in the juking thing and the lockdown thing? You remember we couldn't talk anything, even the truth, or pages get taken down. There was a system in the United Kingdom called the yellow card reporting. That was the government reporting for the vax, the demics, and all of the femics and all of the bullshit. But we couldn't report the actual facts from the yellow card reporting information on social media, because they take down our page, they take down the information, are penalizing us. Even though it's the information put out by the government, but because it's buried on the government website where a lot of us don't go to read, Not a lot of people would know the information because this is how government operate. And in Jamaica, they tend to do this on JIS and PBCJ. They put information because they have to put certain information out in the public by law. But what they do, they look for somewhere where you're not focusing on and they bury that information there. Boring though they are, that is the reason to take note of what is going on over JIS sometime, because that's where the government put bullshit that they're hiding from you because they know JIS boring and much we don't go over there. But governments who want to shut us down, who want to silence us, who are afraid of criticism, will use Section 9 against us. We could say things that would originally fall under the definition, the defamation umbrella, which has now gone over into criminal law because of this whole cybercrime act and all of that. So for me, it blurred and it confused, especially, Mr. Tony, thank you, especially Section 9 and the interpretation statute Section 2. So Section 2 and Section 9 of the act are my contention, because it gives the definition and things that we put out in print media, in photography, and all of that. We know it used to tread the defamation line outside of things that would come under like revenge porn or such like and such a forth. That would be in the criminal law territory. But I think in Section 9, we have a mixture of criminal and civil law running together. And I think because of that, we need clarity from the court. So I hope this will progress through the system and give us clarity whether the law works or it violates our rights. And I would say to the People's National Party, given that some of these offenses under this act was created under the People's National Party review of the act in 2015, the PNP should give us an assurance that they will carry out a review of the act because, there were provisions made in the act for a review to be carried out in 2018. I'm not saying it wasn't done. I haven't got that information at the moment, so I cannot speak to that. But there should have been a review done in 2018 to see the workings of it. I hope me not confused, because myself left confused by Section 2 and Section 9. There's more confusion in the act, but that's the bit of concern to us, the malicious communication, which they can arrest us under, curtail us under, draw away from under, we bed under. So I think the People's National Party ought to, if the law was not reviewed in 2018, they ought to carry out that review. And I would beg that there's a relook at Section 9 of the Act and the interpretation statute when it comes to a clear guidance of how the law ought to be applied, because we're confused. Because you can say something which usually would have been defamation, and you can just turn up, get arrest, and here say it was malicious communication. Garnet Stewart. Debian, how you do? You might just wake up to hear say, what could have been defamation? What could have been an insult? Because freedom of speech, you see, allows you to insult a person. But then the act here, because if I insult someone, that person can become distressed. They could have anxiety from the things I say to them or post about them or say to them in one of my broadcasts on social media. I could cause them annoyance. The information I put out there via computer could cause annoyance to them. So you can't get arrested because somebody. Remember, we saw that young man who wicked thieving Steve McGregor go draw under in bed and put on camera to appease the Prime Minister and put him in a station in front of camera to apologize to the Prime Minister. All of this was done under the Cybercrime Act. Section 9, no give them the power to come all the way out from under with bed, but it gives them that power to take our free speech into the criminal territory rather than defamation. Now, if 119 is maintaining that whenever he puts out information and make reference to people, he's telling the truth and he can back it up. He also reminds them that truth is an absolute defense to defamation. So let's see how the ball rolls, because he vows to fight against this thing. And I would want the court to have a careful look at Section 9, So let's hope it tag around. Let me play like a music. Can I feel some confusion just like how me confused?
Oh, thy peace, God of my salvation, because the mouth of the sinful and wicked.
Why did that?
Oh, thy peace, God of my salvation, because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Not a people there. Make a man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear now hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside and rub and cheat, and not press the floor. Make up what I seen him. Make him a throw and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan! Make him a throw and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. My favorite man, if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see? Did they them can sell out Rasta and sell it out? I sell out Babylon. him and show one stone, and they bring a body feeling to all wicked men. Make him and show one stone, and they bring a body feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the dead can sell out Rasta. I sell a house, I sell out Babylon. Yes, stop on the price. You might show a stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black thing, man, throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What a prophet must say.
Yes, thank you for being here. If Isaac Buchanan tackle this issue this evening, thank you, Glenn, he will give a much more clearer guidance on this issue. You know, Isaac Buchanan is a constitutional and human rights expert. These are his areas. So if he speaks on the issue this evening, I'm sure he will give clear guidance on it. But as I said at this moment, I am a bit confused. The police themselves, who even charges 119, would appear to be confused as well, as he alleged that they were unable to point to him what in his post constitutes malicious communication. So it's right that the court must intervene and tell us if the law one is constitutional, if it violates our fundamental right, or if it is constitutional, is it being misapplied? Is it being misapplied? So we watch and see what's going on, and we wait to see the outcome of it all. Thank you all very much for being here this morning. I know I'm not eating any bun and cheese tomorrow. I'm only having fried fish and bami and okra and all of that jazz. I really eat sweet things. I even don't use sugar anymore. Heap heap hooray. I stopped using sugar. Sometime I might use condensed milk in my coffee, but otherwise, the way I'll just drink hot water or just drop anything in the hot water. So no, I'm not having their bun and cheese. I'll just have my fish and bami as usual. But I'm not going to fat up the taxman's purse just for one bloody day of putting on weight by eating too much. So, thanks to everyone for being here. Sorry, YouTube, me never see get kicked out. Me never see me get kicked out of this studio. But as I was saying, I don't celebrate the follies of all these things. Me eat fish every day or every week. Not every day, but every week. I just fish and vegetable. Me eat. Even if I fool around chicken, I have the bone. I really like chicken meat. Don't like meat in general. Anyway, but thank you all. Thank you all for being here this morning. Join us back this evening for the people's point of view. Thank you very much. Good morning and good afternoon from the Global Television Group. And if you're new to us on TikTok, please hit the follow button and give us a follow so when we go live, you certainly will get your notification. Thank you very much. Good morning and good afternoon from Global TV.
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all. Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.